Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I've got a couple of things that I wanted to share with you. One of them being I had an opportunity to have a generator company reach out to me, AIVOLT, and they've offered me a generator to test out and check and see for my uses doing vintage Volkswagen camping, if this unit would help me, which I can tell you, it's going to help me. You know that I'm a fan of solar power on my bus. I've got 200 watts of solar on the roof of it, a couple hundred ampere hours of batteries inside, and then I also have a 40 amp DC to DC charger when I'm traveling. I outfitted it like that because one, I'm running a refrigerator freezer in my bus when I'm overlanding, but then also I installed 12 volt air conditioning. One of the things that I've learned about 12 volt air conditioning is capacity. You need lots of lithium storage to be able to run it for extended periods of time. At this point, at days where it's really hot, I can only run it for 2 to 3 hours on full before it depletes my batteries, and the solar is not keeping up. So I recently did a trip out to the drag races where I was staying on a parking lot, super hot out there. You know, the concrete's radiating heat up and stuff. I'm trying to run the actual generator or the bus, you know, the air conditioning to kind of keep it cool in there, and the solar just couldn't keep up with it. One thing that I did have with me was a little tiny 1000 watt generator. Now, that little generator, I was able to hook it up and hook it to a DC to, or an AC to DC charger and try to keep my batteries topped off. But it took everything it had. It was, you know, it was a heavy load for the little generator and it just couldn't keep up. So when AIVOLT reached out to me with their 1600 generator, I knew that it had an actual running capacity around 1200 watts, which was twice as much as I had been running on my previous generator, that it would do the job. It would even keep up with like a window unit if you use like a traditional window unit when you're camping in your tent, or if you used it when you, you know, staying in your bus, you could just put it in the window and run a little generator like this, and it'd keep up all day long. I think that it's going to suit me. Probably one of the greatest things about it is its size. You know, it weighs 27 pounds, which is super, super light. But before we can actually use the generator, we have to service it out. So let me show you how that goes now. Okay, when you get the generator, it actually comes with a little toolkit. And it gives you instructions. It tells you on the side of it, you undo the screw here at the top that I'm doing here. And then once you have that screw out, the little cover, it kind of, well, you gotta get your finger in there and you'll kind of lift it up and pull it away. And when you do that, it exposes the top of the air cleaner, and then at the very bottom you'll find the oil fill, which I think is it's located, it's convenient, it's not too buried in there, but it's definitely something that when you get ready to put some oil in, you'll want to use a funnel. Luckily, it includes the funnel. It came in the box with the unit, so it screws right on. And the unit itself, I think it holds, I'm using 10W30 oil in it, and it holds right, I think it's 11.8 ounces, which is just, it's not a whole lot of oil, but you just want to make sure you don't overfill it or you'll make a big mess. Okay, now once you've got it full, I always take a paper towel and I'll stuff it up underneath the base of the funnel here. That way when I go to pull the funnel out, I'm not dripping any oil inside the case. Try to keep it as clean as long as you can. I mean, it's a machine. Eventually it's going to have a little bit of something, but anything you can do to prevent it, I think it's well worth it. Then you'll go ahead and just take the dipstick, put it back in, pull it out, verify that your oil is topped off, and you're good to put the cover back on the side. And I went down and got some gasoline. Here locally, we can find the non-ethanol style gas. It definitely calls not to put any E15 or E85 fuel in the generator. So I always try to use a little bit of stabilizer. Oh yeah. And yeah, be careful when you're filling it up. I overfilled it, cleaned it up. No big deal, but that could have been prevented if I had just paid a little better attention. Now the generator has a lot of really cool features. So we'll show you a few of them. Probably one of the first things that stands out to me on it is it has this hour meter, which is really nice for keeping up with your maintenance on here. It also has some LED lights on here for the output, the overload, and your oil level warning. Something that's really cool nowadays too we're seeing on them is that it has USB on here. So you have a USB-C and a USB regular plug on it, so you can plug all your devices right off your generator, so you don't need any type of adapter or anything, which is really cool. Then you have two of the 120 volt plugs, which uses your standard 110 house voltage, so you can plug in your fans, your air conditioner, your little refrigerator, anything like that. And this would work great too, to an emergency at your home or something. If you needed to save your freezer full of meats and stuff, you could run it all on this, which is nice. And I think it runs 5 or 6 hours at half capacity, so it'd give you a good long run on it, as long as you're not pulling some really heavy device on it where it's pulling like a lot of voltage. Now they say that this is a 1600. That's the peak value on it. But its actual running wattage is going to be the 1260. So you want to keep that in mind when you're kind of thinking of the things that you might want to run with your generator. Now it has down here an on and off switch, and then it also has an eco mode on here. Another thing that's really unique about this is it has the CO safeguard on it, which is going to be to protect you if you're in an environment where the possibility there could be a buildup of carbon dioxide. It would shut the unit down and save your life. It's very important to have safety when you're running some device like this. You don't want to run it like in your garage or something. It needs to be outside in a well ventilated area. You also have an actual ground that you can attach to it, and you can parallel these units if you want to double up on them. All right, now that we've got it all serviced out, kind of gone over some of the features on it, let's get it outside and fire it up and see what kind of sound this makes, if it's a loud unit or if it's a quiet generator. The great thing too, man, thing weighs 27 pounds, super light, easy to carry around. Okay, when you want to start the unit, you go ahead and you open up the vent on the gas tank. On the side, you'll turn the fuel switch in the on position, and then you'll put it into the start position, which is basically the choke. You'll choke it down. Once it gets started, you'll put it to the run position. On the front of the unit, there's the eco switch. You want that in the off position, and the power in the on position. Wow, that started really easy. Let's check this out. Big thanks to AIVOLT, and guys, definitely click down in the description and order one for yourself today. I think that you'll enjoy it, and it'll enhance all your camping experiences, and it's nice to have around for an emergency.